Live. Cool, we're on air. Hello, welcome to Think and Grow Rich Daily Hangouts. My name's Sandy Levesque. I'm here with Tracy Stark. Do you want to say hi, Tracy?
Hi, Tracy. Good
Oh, here we
morning.
go. Kabim. We need the. I knew that was going to happen. The Google effect. Let's wait for some sound effects, guys.
Just weren't
If
ready
you're
for me.
watching, yeah, right. If you're watching and you want to come onto the Hangout to read or just to participate, then you're very welcome to. I had some more questions about this at the weekend. You just need to click on the first link that I post on when I post about the Hangout going live. So if you're not able to do that, then um, then just I'm not sure. Then just message me on Facebook, okay? So we're just going to start there. I won't be able to go back into Facebook right now. But also, if you were here on Friday and you wonder where the hell's Sandy, what's going on, I couldn't actually get onto the internet. So it's about 2 hours after the Hangout should have been. So sorry about that, but we're here today, and glad to have you here, Tracy. Got our resident voice actor in the house. So
Shucks.
yeah, right. We're reading about imagination still. We were just finishing that chapter, and we just read about creative and synthetic imagination. That's when you were here, Tracy. So synthetic imagination being when you think with your mind, and then creative imagination being actually when you connect to stuff in the ether, infinite intelligence, and you download crazy ideas that just come out of nowhere and really work. So that was one of the readings, and then the other kind of imagination was he's talking about personal services and a mother who basically helped her son to market himself by making him like this book that was like a CV, and it did so well that he got like he went straight to a management position in the company he was applying to, and she began doing this for people all over America. So Tracy, do you feel like reading or not? Or I don't.
Uh, I'm having I'm having trouble getting my iBooks thing to open up. Oh wait,
Oh,
here it is. What page?
got it. Ah, cool. Page 75.
Didn't I start at I started 67 last. I thought I'm reading
Ah,
backwards.
yeah, yeah. I think it's 60. I was trying to remember because it was Thursday the last time. Oh, we're right at the end of the chapter actually. Oh, hang on. Oh my gosh, hang on. I think I've gone crazy. Uh,
Uh,
oh,
Nobody told
we're
you
way
that
past
already?
that. We're way past that. Oh my goodness, hang on. Uh, oh. This is a slick operation here.
Yeah,
Hang on.
we're on
Oh,
top
I
of
know
it.
where we are. We're on page 86. Yeah, this is
Right.
it. We're on
Okay.
page 86. Yeah,
86. Final answer.
exactly. We're page 86, and it's on the.
You want to phone a
Oh,
friend,
I
Sandy?
know where we are. We're on riches when they come in huge quantities are never the result of hard work. Near the top of the page.
Okay, so I wasn't here for that
No, because there
because
was
I
one day
stopped right
after.
before the enchanted kettle, and then
Yeah.
that was when?
Well, there was one day after you read that you weren't
Okay.
there. So yeah, basically we
86.
read about Coca-Cola and how Coke started.
Okay,
So
so anyone who's watching this probably should get on here and then fast forward 2.5 minutes.
yeah, exactly. I'll put that in the comments. Oh dear. Thank you, thank you. It takes a lot of
Yeah.
initiative to be this unorganized.
Really,
Okay.
it doesn't come naturally. We really have to practice.
It's a
We
skill
actually rehearsed it.
to be developed.
He called me
Uh,
at 3 in the morning and we rehearsed this. Um, 86, starting with riches.
And then I'm going to tell you the wrong page, and you're going to realize, and we're going to like skip forwards and like.
Yeah. And then in 10 minutes, we're going to say, my internet's not working, and then just like log
Yeah.
off. All right. Can you see the page?
Okay. Yes, we can. I'll mute myself.
You do that. Riches, when they come in huge quantity, are never the result of hard work. Riches come, if they come at all, in response to definite demands, based upon the application of definite principles, and not by chance or luck. Generally speaking, An idea is an impulse of thought that impels action by an appeal to the imagination. All master salesmen know that ideas can be sold where merchandise cannot. Ordinary salesmen do not know this. That is why they are ordinary. A publisher of books, which sells for a nickel, made a discovery that should be worth much to publishers generally. He learned that many people buy titles and not contents of books. By merely changing the name of one book that was not moving, his sales on that book jumped upward more than 1 million copies. The idea of the book was not changed in any way. He merely ripped off the cover bearing the title that did not sell and put on a new cover with the title that had box office value. That, as simple as it may seem, was an idea. It was imagination. There's no standard price on ideas. The creator of ideas makes his own price, and if he is smart, gets it. The moving picture industry created a whole flock of millionaires. Most of them were people who couldn't create ideas, but they had the imagination to recognize ideas when they saw them. The next flock of millionaires will grow out of the radio business, which is new and not overburdened with men of keen imagination. The money will be made by those who discover or create new and more meritorious radio programs and have the imagination to recognize merit and to give the radio listeners a chance to profit by it. The sponsor, that unfortunate victim who now pays the cost of all radio entertainment, soon will become idea conscious and demand something for his money. The person who beats the sponsor to the draw and supplies programs that render useful service is the one who will become rich in this new industry. Crooners and light chatter artists who now pollute the air with wisecracks and silly giggles will go the way of all light timbers, and their places will be taken by real artists who interpret carefully planned programs which have been designed to service the minds of people as well as provide entertainment. Tell Howard Stern that. Here is a wide-open field of opportunity screaming its protest at the way it is being butchered because of lack of imagination and begging for rescue at any price. Above all, the thing that radio needs is new ideas. If this new field of opportunity intrigues you, perhaps you might profit by the suggestion that the successful radio programs of the future will give more attention to creating buyer audiences and less attention to listener audiences. Stated more plainly, the builder of radio programs who succeeds in the future must find practical ways to convert listeners into buyers. Ding, 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 ding. I gotta remember that one. Moreover, the successful producer of radio programs in the future must key his or her future features so that they can definitely show its effect upon the audience. Sponsors are becoming a bit weary of buying glib selling talks based upon statements grabbed out of thin air. They want, and in the future will demand, indisputable proof that the Who's It program not only gives millions of people the silliest giggle ever, but that the silly giggler can sell merchandise. Another thing that might as well be understood by those who contemplate entering this new field of opportunity, radio advertising, is going to be handled by an entirely new group of advertising experts, separate and distinct from the old-time newspaper and magazine advertising agency men. The old-timers in the advertising game cannot read the modern radio scripts because they have been schooled to see ideas. The new radio technique demands men and women who can interpret ideas from a written manuscript in terms of sound. It cost the author a year of hard labor and many thousands of dollars to learn this. Coffee. I can see you, Sandy. Radio right now is about where the moving pictures were when Mary Pickford and her curls first appeared on the screen. There's plenty of room in radio for those who can produce or recognize ideas. If the foregoing comment on the opportunities of radio has not started your idea factory to work, you had better forget it. Your opportunity is in some other field. If the comment intrigued you in the slightest degree, then go further into it, and you may find the one idea you need to round out your career. Never let it discourage you if you have no experience in radio. Andrew Carnegie knew very little about making steel. I have Carnegie's own word for this, but he made practical use of two of the principles described in this book and made the steel business yield him a fortune. The story of practically every great fortune starts with the day when a creator of ideas and a seller of ideas got together and worked in harmony. Carnegie surrounded himself with men who could do all that he could not, men who created ideas, and men who put ideas into operation, and made himself and the others fabulously rich. Millions of people go through life hoping for favorable breaks. Perhaps a favorable break can get one an opportunity, but the safest plan is not to depend upon luck. It was a favorable break that gave me the biggest opportunity of my life, but 25 years of determined effort had to be devoted to that opportunity before it became an asset. The break consisted of my good fortune in meeting and gaining the cooperation of Andrew Carnegie. On that occasion, Carnegie planted in my mind the idea of organizing the principles of achievement into a philosophy of success. Thousands of people have profited by the discoveries made in the 25 years of research, and several fortunes have been accumulated through the application of the philosophy. The beginning was simple. It was an idea which anyone might have developed. The favorable break came through Carnegie, but what about the determination, definiteness of purpose, and the desire to attain the goal, and the persistent effort of 25 years? It was no ordinary desire that survived disappointment, discouragement, temporary defeat, criticism, and the constant reminding of waste of time. It was a burning desire, an obsession. When the idea was first planted in my mind by Mr. Carnegie, it was coaxed, nursed, and enticed to remain alive. My turn with coffee. Gradually, the idea became a giant under its own power, and it coaxed, nursed, and drove me. Ideas are like that. First you give life and action and guidance to ideas, then they take on power of their own and sweep aside all opposition. Ideas are intangible forces, but they have more power than the physical brains that give birth to them. They have the power to live on after the brain that creates them has returned to dust. For example, take the power of Christianity. That began with a simple idea born in the brain of Christ. Its chief tenet was, do unto others as you would have others do unto you. And unfriend the haters. Christ has gone back to the source from whence he came, but his idea goes marching on. Someday it may grow up and come into its own. Then it will have fulfilled Christ's deepest desire. The idea has been developing only 2,000 years. Give it time. Success requires no explanations. Failure permits no alibis. Shall we make today just a tiny bit shorter?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
I keep you on the edge of my screen because you give me encouragement while I'm working. I see I get a thumbs up every now and then, unless you're not thumb upping me. But if you are, thanks.
Thumb up, I'm confused. What do you mean?
You did this. I can't get rid of my share. Oh wait.
Me?
I'm stupid today.
I'm not following you.
Anyway, what I was saying is, when I was reading, I could see you. I saw you do this. Maybe you were doing it to the dog or to the people that you're staying with.
No, I didn't remember doing that. Really? Oh, I think I did when you said people. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no,
yeah. It's hard. It's hard to continuously switch around to switch it at will. You know.
Yeah. So. Well done. Thank you for doing that. Oh, you got your cup of tea as well. I've actually got lemon and water.
Coffee.
I've now finished the lemon. Yeah. Oh, and I like that we can have the sound effects. We can add a bit of excitement to the book. You know, like suspense at key moments.
I should have turned on some music while I was reading some. Like the theme music to The Godfather, or maybe Schindler's List or something.
But actually, the main thing that came to my mind as you were reading this passage was, obviously he's talking about radio. It's a bit out of date, but what people can do is is think about, okay, well, what would be the equivalent today? You know, if Napoleon was sitting next to us, which I'm sure he actually does sometimes, um, what
Hmm.
would, uh,
Blogging, perhaps.
yeah, well, what I thought of was someone that I know who's a six-figure person on the internet. They were driving me to the airport once to give me a lift home, a lift to the airport. I was going home, and we were talking about. I don't even know how we got onto this, but
Were you in an airport?
sorry. Oh, I think we have a delay. Yeah, but basically, we were chatting about the internet, and he sees it as the new gold rush. That that it's a way for people to really make money in a way that a lot faster than a lot of stuff that people traditionally do in the world, like it was with gold mining, 100 or so years ago. And obviously, you have people that mine gold in a good way, other people that don't. Same with the internet. And it doesn't mean that everyone who goes and mines gold will find gold, but if you know what you're doing, you can. And I hadn't really ever thought of it that way. It was quite interesting. Oh, we lost Tracy. Oh no. um, so I hope you can come back, Tracy. And I should probably do a ka-ching sound effect for what I'm talking about, just to add some emphasis here. But and it's really slow, and this is my connection. But anyway, I'm going to keep going. I hope you guys can hear me. We have quite a lot of people watching actually, so I'd be interested to know where you all are. I forgot to open the Q&A actually. So if you've asked a question or you wanted to and you couldn't. But basically, what I was saying is that you can see, I'm not saying that everyone should go on the internet, but it is one medium out there, like what Napoleon is alluding to, something that's new, something that if you get good at it, you can really do well, and he was saying that, some of the richest families in America became rich because of what they did during the gold rush, like the Rockefeller family, the Waldorf family. They're the only two big ones that I know. He did mention another one, but they built their fortunes really on the gold rush and built dynasties that are still very powerful today. So if you take a long-term view, you can really think about, well, what could I do? What ideas could I have that would allow me to do what Napoleon's talking about here? What would be that gold rush for me? Maybe it's not the internet for you. I'll be back, Tracy. Hi.
My computer had a stroke.
But they Monday morning stroke. It's feeling that all the computers around the world that are like being manned by and womened by angry people. Oh, we have a hello comment, but unfortunately I can't. I think it's a Hebrew name. I apologize if that's completely off the. It's not Hebrew at all. But hi, whoever said hello. Namap. I don't think it is Namap, but it's like I have a Jewish friend in Israel who writes on my Facebook wall a lot. And whenever I never used to be able to reply to her because I couldn't read her name. So I asked her one day, "What's your name? If I was meeting you in Israel, what would I call you?" And she, in like Western syllables, and it was she told me her name. And now whenever I type that into Facebook, it's really clever. It puts my comment backwards because Hebrew writes from back to front, and it changes her name to Hebrew. It's really crazy. So
Computers.
yeah. Um, so yeah, Tracy, did you have any thoughts about that? What like the kind of getting into an industry where it's a kind of a new thing where people can do really well if they get the good skills.
Well, for me, when I started in internet marketing, I thought, oh God, I'm like 5 years too late. It's still new though. It's still like a baby, you know. And I
Yeah,
and I think like I only got interested in February or January, and I started looking at a bunch of different things, and I was like, oh, there's already like hundreds of thousands of people involved, but
yeah,
that's nothing,
yeah,
because it's next is the Internet of Things, and someone needs to man or woman those other segments, and it
yeah.
just goes on and on. So
And there's 7
yeah,
billion people on the planet. Um,
right.
And the thing with the internet is that it's not a finite resource in the earth. Like obviously we have to make sure that cables can still be made and stuff, I guess. But it's not, it's not like a mineral which once you really plunder the earth, it's gone. It's
And with Napoleon Hill, when he was writing this, he's writing this basically focused on maybe Americans and maybe British people too. Americans, Canadians, British, right? And 1937, I think the population of the U.S. was about maybe 120 million, right? Now it's like 300 million,
wow.
and
Yeah.
probably even less than 120 million. And then Canada was like, whatever, 56 people, and and the UK had, like 40 million, 50 million back then. So, but with new industries, you're targeting the whole planet.
Yeah.
So, if yet first you have to open your mind to the idea that you're not just like, opening a lemonade stand and expecting the 50 people in the vicinity to come and buy from you.
Yeah.
You're
Exactly.
doing something that has infinite potential,
Yeah.
and
Exactly. And people realize
possibly other people on other planets will come and buy from you.
that. Yeah.
Amazon.universe.
Yeah. Right. um, Actually, so something that people can, you guys watching can do, comes to my mind is, if you feel like you don't have, you're not in something, or you don't have any ideas that could make you riches or fortune, like he's talking about, then you can change that. Just because you haven't had an idea now. I once went to a workshop where they made us ask, the universe, what's $1 million idea that I could have that would change the world, that would, make me $1 million in the process. And actually, it reminds me of Jack Canfield, the personal development guy who wrote,
Mm.
I think, Chicken Soup for the Soul.
And chicken soup for everything else, yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. Chicken soup for. Oh, I was about to make a really bad poultry joke. I'm not even going to go there. We'd have had to have like really bad sound effects. But his story is amazing because he he was really struggling, long before he became successful, and he says that he wanted. I think it was 100,000 that he wanted to make, and he decided to.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, okay, I want to make $100,000 a year. What could I do to do that? And just basically, asked out there, what could I do to make $100,000? And he said that and he started visualizing himself already having it, like imagining what it would feel like.
And he
And
put the $100,000 check on his ceiling above his bed.
good point. That's a good point. I forgot that. Yeah, he taped it, so he saw it every day. And then he said for the first 30 days nothing happened, but then he suddenly got this idea that if he finally published this book that he'd written and sold it for this specific amount and sold this many copies, he would have made a fat $100,000. And so he did it, and he did the 100,000. Then he did the same thing for 1 million copies, or for $1 million, and became a
And
millionaire.
for that 100,000, he said all he needed, like he's like, if I can only get a commission of 25 cents a book, I need to sell
Yeah,
400,000 copies. So how am I going to sell 400,000 copies? And he was standing in line at the grocery store, and he saw the National Enquirer, which is this like
yeah, I forgot that.
trashy rag that has, actually the National Enquirer is like the best of the worst, really, because it has actual stories in it. Like
Yeah,
Weekly World News has like pictures of like Bill Clinton walking hand in hand with an alien, you know, or Bat Boy, but National Enquirer was a little more like, they'd have like sensational stories, but not like outrageous. And
right.
that's the best-selling magazine in America at the time.
Ah,
The best-selling, but it was a newspaper print, so it was
yeah.
really cheap. And why it was so best-selling? It was super cheap, and they had just tons of advertising. And so
Mm,
he thought, if I buy an ad in there, I should be able to sell 400,000 copies if they're selling like 5 million copies a week.
yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah. That's such a great example of working smart, not harder, Like some people would be like, okay, I'm going to do a massive book tour. I'm going to contact every radio station in America and like plan out this massive, hardcore plan.
I'm going to
With
need a marching band.
yeah, exactly. I
Wrong
was about to
horn,
press
sorry.
that button, and I
That
thought,
was, I meant this one.
epic music. Every time we do more sound effects, we get more viewers. I've noticed. We're gonna get more viewers
Yay!
in minutes. Hi everyone. Welcome to the mad hangout. But that's yeah, like with whatever you're doing, you can ask a question like, okay, what could I do that would allow me to compress time frames? You know, to do like Jack Canfield compressed time massively by doing that, because with one action, one advert, he reached possibly, you know, over 1 million people, 5 million people, very quickly. And you know, I think that's something that it's easy to forget. Sometimes people think they have to do it like every step of the mountain, climbing up the whole way. And sometimes you can find stuff that will be like a goose that just picks you up and like takes you, you know, 5,000 feet up on its back, and you're like,
That's a big goose.
massive goose, yeah. We have big goose here in Portugal.
Ah!
Yeah.
A goosedactyl.
Oh my god. I once had a goose follow me for 2 days when I was hiking with some friends in Greenland. We got lost, and this goose followed us the whole way. It joined our camp, and it just stayed about 20 meters behind us for 2 days as we hiked up a mountain, got lost, hiked back down, and then when we came back the way we came, and we went past where it had joined us, it just like petered off and sort of wandered off again.
See you guys
Very
later.
surreal. But I've had a massive respect for Canadian goose ever since then. So
Wow, that's weird.
it was
Maybe it was
beautiful.
like a self-sacrificing goose who was like, all right, if these people get in trouble, they can eat me.
Yeah. I felt like it was sent by the you know, nature spirits or something to look over. We were so stupid, you know, we got lost and did some silly things. So oh dear.
As you should. I wanted to add something about the whole, like, how he thought about the magazine and was able to reach so many people. Well, you know, if you're struggling and if you're like stuck trying to figure out how you can get out of obscurity, you know,
Mm.
the internet is the answer for everything. It really is. Just type, as though you're talking to the universe, just type your question into the God Google. And there it is. Like, I was looking for how to get more viewers for like a blog post without spending any money, right? And I shared an article yesterday, and
Yeah.
it was like 15 easy ways to get at least 1,000 people to look at your blog post.
Yeah.
Holy crap! It's been so long, and I haven't put these things together, and
Right.
so it's a matter of working smarter, and once you put in some of that effort, you'll work smarter and smarter and smarter,
Exactly.
and you'll be working this hard, and then this hard, and then this hard, and then
Yeah.
this hard, but you'll be working this smart and this smart and this smart, and it's just
Compound.
you have to open your mind to, like, you have to look ahead, you know,
Yeah.
and don't expect the universe to just, like, I mean, if I said, oh, universe, please give me a cup of coffee, there's a very good chance my girlfriend might come up the stairs with a cup of coffee. Really good chance. But if I say, universe, please get me 10,000 likes on my Facebook fan page, I'm going to log into Facebook, and there's still going to be like just a couple hundred.
Yeah.
And
You have to
I'm
ask.
not going to be like, universe, you suck. Because there's something more to it. It's
Yeah. You have to meet it
Napoleon
halfway.
says. Yeah, Napoleon says it's a desire, and it's planning, and it's persistence, and it's I'm sure I missed something, but it's, you know, wrap all those things together.
Yeah. Well, like it's the first step is a desire. The second step is faith.
Faith.
Third one is auto-suggestion. You know, like brainwashing yourself, basically.
Get inside a box and have people beat on the outside.
Yeah, right. And then using your creative and your synthetic imagination, and then then we'll get to the rest as we read through the book.
It's a surprise, people. I'm not going to tell you how it ends.
Yeah, I don't want to give a spoiler. um,
The ending is going to blow you away. That's all I can tell you.
yeah.
Wow.
But what I love is I love from what we read with the lecture notes. You know, I didn't really know much about Napoleon. I didn't know until reading the lecture notes that he actually you know, he had sat at a riverbank, very poor after his mum died, unable to even feed himself, literally hungry, sitting there as a child wondering, like, how am I going to eat? And he said that he got this vision of just driving back there one day, really rich and wealthy, and you know, in a lot of comfort. And he just knew at that time that that it wouldn't be like that all the time. And he actually did drive back to that same spot in
Rolls Royce.
a Rolls Royce. That was it. And so, you know, this works. You know, he was not rich when he started doing this research. He was a struggling journalist when Andrew Carnegie asked him, but you know, these steps actually work, and I find that really inspiring. And I think if you've had a sense like that, that you'll be in a different situation and you take action, you know, you do what he's saying, like Tracy was saying, you don't just sort of sit there going, I would like to be, you know, rich and successful.
A story that goes along with this, and it's kind of funny. It's this guy, you know, he goes to church every week and he prays every night, and you know, and he's got a wife and like 17 children, so he's got it kind of rough. And he prays, "Oh dear Lord, please let me win the lottery. I'll be faithful. I'll go to church every day. Amen." Lottery comes and goes. He doesn't win it. Next week, "Oh Lord, I told you I'd be the most faithful servant you've ever had, and I'll go to church every day and be good to my wife and family if you just let me win the lottery." Lottery is drawn. He doesn't win. Comes and goes again. Third week, he's like, "Oh dear Lord, please just let me win the lottery." And God interrupts him and says, "Hey, buy a ticket."
Exactly. Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah. And I think a lot of people do that unconsciously. They just kind of hope for stuff to fall in their lap. And you're like, no. Oh, no. No clapping for them.
Oh man.
Cool. Well, thank you for reading, Tracy, and for being here, and for the sound effects as well. Let's just do a quick gong here. On this note, we shall leave you.
Bye everyone.
Have a great day, and just as a recap of what we read today, it was to look at ideas that could allow you to kind of skip, you know, compress time frames and do stuff that works quicker, working smarter, not harder, basically, is the gist of what he's saying in this passage. So have a great day, everyone. See you tomorrow,
Indeed.
and go and have fun.
Yes, conquer the world.
Yes, exactly. Dominate the world. Thank you very much. Bye. I love that music. Bye, okay, Chico. Bye.